everyone. Welcome to Sons and Daughters of Liberty. I'm Drew. Before we get into the topic that I want to discuss, I do want to kind of let people know that all you streamers and people uploading videos here on YouTube, you guys definitely want to keep on top of the new guideline changes and policy updates. So I recommend periodically checking your terms of service, TOS, or subscribing to the creators feed along with the stuff on the TOS and the policy changes that they're getting ready to make. Because it will affect all of us. And I am also going to open this topic with a disclaimer. Oh no, not the disclaimer, right? But this one's going to be more for those of you that are more open-minded, free thinkers. I think it's somewhat think outside the box. I know, because I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. With this one, I might not be everyone's cup of tea. I mean, I'm going to keep it pretty clean. No swearing. I've been doing pretty good on that here lately, but I'm going to touch on some topics tonight that you might not like. I'm just going to say it like that. Tonight's topic is, as I said, I've been wanting to do it for a while, is Knight in White and Shining Armour. But it's going to be, I'm going to add to it more with illusion and reality, the world that we're living in, and the things of how we perceive things. So it might get touchy for some people. It might not. I don't know. You're just going to have to use your discretion. Most of you know the stuff I talk about by now. I watched a video earlier this week that kind of got me on the illusion and reality thing, thinking. I think it was from people's perspectives. She does some awesome videos, and something there struck me that's been, made me think. And yes, I know I can hear it now. No, Smiley's thinking, right? For those that don't know, who don't know me by Smiley, don't know what I'm saying, but the ones that do know me by Smiley, oh yeah, it's never a good thing about thinking, right? But yeah, I've been thinking, viewing things. It's not something, the concept's not new to me, nor is it old to me. It's pretty much an everyday thing in my life. Reality and illusions, the things we perceive to be reality in our own lives. So we're going to touch on that too, as well as the Knight in White and Shining Armour, because the Knight in White and Shining Armour is also an illusion and reality. So let's get on with it, shall we? Let's go down the rabbit hole. The Knight in White and Shining Armour versus illusion and reality. Shall we? I think so. It'll be fun, right? Probably not, but hey, what's fun for me might not be fun for you. See? We all have our own views, opinions, perspectives, which makes this conversation a little bit interesting at times. Because many of us don't want to realize reality. Real reality, not the reality that we self-create or have been imposed upon us saying that this is reality. Many people claim that they're open, but yet they're not fully open. They're self-aware. They're at the beginning stages of being open, but they still have things to learn, things to question. They're still living in some false reality that they've created because they believe some of the things that they were taught throughout life to be concrete and true. So, the Knight in White and Shining Armour, you all know about it. Fairy tales and the Knights in White and Shining Armour coming to save the day and stuff. And there's various ways to look at it. For many people here in the U.S., Trump was that knight in white shining armor. We might not admit it, but in truth, that's the way he was perceived. Because we see that he wants change, he wants to make America great again. He was telling us all the things that, we want to hear, the things that we've been waiting to see a person step up and say. So therefore, he became that knight in white shining armor to many people across this country. That's one figure. Other figures that are knights in white and shining armor are role models, people that we call mentors, teachers. They are our knights in white and shining armor. So they're down to your pastors or whatever belief system you believe in. And we can find it in all the archetypes. A person that comes along when you're on hard times, becomes your knight in white and shining armor. So I don't want to get the misconception that a knight in white shining armor is always a bad thing. It's a good thing, because sometimes we need that. Sometimes we also rely upon that instead of taking the initiative and being a knight in white and shining armor for ourselves. Each of you are a knight in white and shining armor. That's actually the truth. You guys all do things. The theory behind the knight in white and shining armor, in my opinion, guys, it takes away from the fact that you're not trusting yourself, listening to yourself. When you hit hard times, sometimes you need a brother or sister to come by and pick you up. So that's why I'm saying it's not always a bad thing. But I've also learned throughout life that you can't always anticipate a knight in white and shining armor. And I've had a few myself. That have meant toward me and impacted my life in great ways and in some bad ways. I'm by far definitely nobody's white and shining armor. I know this. I don't want to be caught in the delusion that I am. I've not been the best role model for people. Even now, I smoke cigarettes. That's not a good role model for other people. We all have our vices. But we always, I don't know, it's just the way we've been taught. We grew up with that. We grew up with the stories. Growing up as kids, watching the old cartoons and kids' movies, always depicts a knight in white and shining armor, or somebody that's going to come and save the day. When in reality, there's not always going to be someone there when you need them the most. We get caught in that delusion, and sometimes we don't realize that we're that very knight in shining armor. We just need to listen to ourselves and pick ourselves back up. Life's not easy. It has its ups and downs. To a homeless person, the person that gives a homeless man some food or some coffee or some change, you just became that person's knight in white and shining armor. On the other coin to that, let's say something does happen. Everything goes down, when everything's in chaos. This is for the preppers out there. Here's an illusion of a life you live in. I knew you haven't. You get the bug out bags, you clean away all the stuff, but you haven't experienced things. You don't know how to. You may have watched the videos on YouTube how to build the type of shelter and stuff to survive, but when it comes right down to it, you haven't really had that experience of not knowing when you're going to find food or how to run. where the homeless person, they live it every day. In a scenario, many of them are already living that type of lifestyle, and they'll survive where a lot of us represent, think they are won't. And that's not knocking the preppers out there. It's just showing another side of the coin, another reality of things. Because let's look at this time of the year. Actually, it's been something that's on my mind here of late, thinking about once we get some snow on the ground and going out and doing a polar bear. I haven't done one in forever. I mean, it wasn't nothing when I was a kid. Did a weekend polar bear a couple times in the winter. So it wasn't, but I was younger. I haven't done one in years. Now that I'm older, my body's still going to react the same, and I'm still going to be able to do, tolerate the weather the way I was able to when we were young. So I've actually been thinking about maybe this year, if you get a decent amount of snow, going out and doing a polar bear. I mean, the polar bear styles that we did when I was growing up, it was more survival. The only thing really was allowed was something to start a fire, some food. He was allowed to bring a sleeping bag and a sheet of plastic, clear plastic, 6 feet long, to make a shelter. And that was for a weekend. So, thinking about doing that, just re-experience that. Can you survive? Yes, some of it's cheap. You're not living off the land. You're bringing your own stuff. It's another illusion. There's not going to be, in those types of scenarios, there won't be a knight in shining armor all the time coming and giving you food or helping you, showing you where to hunt in the area you may be in. There's a lot of things we take for granted in life. Just like, I don't remember, I think it was on Twitter a couple days ago. They posted the new homeless rates for the West Coast, how it's exceedingly grown. Oh yeah, it has. Why? I don't mean to be harsh about this, because look at the West Coast. California sanctuary city. Takes in all these illegal immigrants, gives them money, gives them charity, gives them tries to give them places to stay, healthcare, medical. But yet they got a growing homeless problem that's grown on top of the problem they already had. They don't care about the U.S. citizen. Just like that, she pointed out in other videos, another illusion that they use. Immigrant. They'll say immigrant, not illegal. They leave the illegal part out. There's a big difference between an immigrant and an illegal immigrant. But they give you that illusion that they're all the same thing. We create a lot of illusions in our life that we don't realize. And it made me sit back and think, like, how many do I still have in my life? How many do I keep? And nobody really sits back and wants to question things about their lives. Fortunately, I do a lot more than most people because it's something that I've learned I have to do. It's, like I said, I had a Christian upbringing, but I have an esoteric upbringing as well. And part of that is also understanding the false realities that we create for ourselves. Sometimes not wanting to accept something as truth will create a reality around it. So we don't have to admit that something in our life they've been living and believing a lie. You know, that's why I always say I take come October, I usually take that whole month off, do reflecting. I don't just do it for that month. Do it every week, constantly reflecting on things. When I take things in, information can be a dangerous game. Knowledge is dangerous. Giving people free knowledge, in a sense, is dangerous. It's like giving, as I pointed out, giving an arsonist. He's got a pile of gasoline at his feet and handing him a book of matches because he forgot to bring matches. You know, and you see it a lot now because we are bombarded with so much information and hardly no time to process it or research every little thing we hear and see. We're always taking stuff in and not taking time to fully research and fully question. Because we don't have all that time in the world to do that. And that is something that they do use against us. You know, like I said, the best lie is the one told with a little bit of truth. Because you'll see the truth and you won't go too far past it. Or you won't question anything else that comes with it. You know, I think there's a perfect example. I mean, I know everybody's happy, and I'm happy about it in some way. The House passed the carry and conceal bill. You know, where states can carry and conceal, and every state can honor it. Well, that's great, except for in the wording of it. The wording is the state has the ultimate choice. If you can come from another state into their state and carry and conceal, they still have the final say. And I know there'll be a bunch of states that won't be cool with it. Won't be an issue. Then there's going to be the states where, New York, we already know New York will be one of them. Everybody said, we're not going to let you carry concealed in our state. You're not going to change your state laws. So in a sense, you get a little bit of truth. We get what we want to a point. Most people won't go any further and read the whole bill and see the real drawbacks. The real fact that they gave us a knight in white and shining armor. But in fact, it is just that, the illusion of a knight in white and shining armor. Because in the end, the states could say yay or nay to it. I know some of you are going to say, well, that's not an illusion. It is. Because how many people are going to go out there, not research every day, not research certain states, and go to that state and find out that they can't carry and conceal because the state didn't change the laws. You know, that's why I say we have to be careful with our idea, the concept of a knight in white and shining armor. You know, to many, a knight in white and shining armor was Obamacare. And we see the results of that. To many, food stamps and stuff like that is a knight in white and shining armor. You become reliant upon it. That's the danger of the knight in white and shining armor concept and idea. When you become reliant on it, because it's not always going to be there. It's not always going to be that knight in white and shining armor. That knight in white and shining armor might be in disguise. peeling the veils of the illusion. And that's why I preach so much. I don't mean to preach, but it does come off that way where I keep hampering you. You need to question everything. I mean everything. You know? Because that sometimes stuff you take in, stuff that you believe to be concrete, is what you needed to hear at that time. It's part of the learning stuff. It's part of that experience in life, that experience that builds wisdom. You're not ready to fully hear the truth of an aspect, so you find comfort in that aspect. But then you never go back and question that. And realize that, man, I had that wrong. You know, it's a shame that sometimes some of these things take several years. We don't realize some of these things until we're much older in life. Why? Because we got to experience things. You know, that's some of the stuff I reflected on. It's like, I get it now. Yep, I get my rebellious side against certain things. But in the end, I have to come back, because I believe knowledge should be given freely. But I also get now that there's a responsibility to that knowledge. That I was living in an illusion there myself, thinking that you can just give people all this knowledge. The fact is, I know better. I knew better even back then. I just wasn't accept the fact that, until people can experience things, some knowledge is not meant to be shared. I think I've started realizing that more and more with the videos I do on this channel and on KOTR. I try not to mix the two because two different worlds. Except for my problem with that is the very same things I talked about on the other channel could be the very same things that would open you guys up to understanding what's really going on. How some tools are being used against you. How illusions and deception work. How imagery is, sigils. You create anagrams, and Make America Great Again. You actually create a sigil. You're actually performing magic in the esoteric sense of things. People don't realize, just like I pointed out before, your emotive cards are sigils. They're meant to trigger and express your emotion. Other people see it, and it triggers a reaction out of them. Now, not everything in this world is black and white either. And, you said black and white, so therefore you're being nice? No. Black and white. As a paper, then putting ink to it. The old style of writing, you write on a white piece of paper with a graphite pencil or colored pen. No difference. Oh, but you could say, well, you can use colored paper. True. But then now you're taking the meaning away from black and white. To me, the Constitution is black and white. When it comes down to what it says, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of religion. Oh wait, we don't have that freedom. If your beliefs go against my beliefs, you shouldn't have the right to express those beliefs because they go against mine. That's not what the Constitution says. And that's hard for people to take in because it goes against their idea of reality. It goes against what they've been taught. They don't question anything other than that. There's nothing wrong with faith. I'm a very spiritual person. But I'll also tell you, a few people I know, first thing I'll tell you, do as I say, not as I do. Why? Because I have my own way of doing things. What works for me is probably not going to work for you. In most cases, what I do and how I do things will not work for you because my mind works differently. My mind sees complexity as simplicity. Something simple is very complex to me. Yeah, I know, it don't make sense, does it? It's like the worst thing you could ever ask me. But I stated the video, and got to me. I started thinking on things. Thinking is the worst thing you could ever ask me. What are you thinking? My mind's thinking on 1,000 things at once, more than 1,000 things. It's always thinking, always going through things, processing. Your mind's probably do the same thing. Yours is more, less chaotic about it. Mine's a controlled chaos, but it's taken years to learn that. You know, I look at the world around me. It is my perspective of it, my perspective of reality. So my perspective of reality won't necessarily match yours. Why? We've experienced different things. We lived different lives. We've been to different places. And we view things differently. That's what I say. So open-mindedness can be an illusion as well. Because to be truly open-minded, one also has to be open-minded to everything. One must be able to take the dogma out of the religion and view the scripture. That probably don't make sense. But, we're taught, faith. Here's a good example. I'll use the Christian ideology of this. Faith without works is dead. It's very true. We have to have faith in the things we are doing, the things we believe. But we miss the work part. Work is also to be attributed to experience. We have to actually do to get the experience. That experience is wisdom. I can watch all the videos I want on how to do things, do it yourself, until I actually go out there and do it and find my own way that works for me to do it. It might not work for me. I might not be able to do what they're doing. There, and I talk about all this information we got within all of our communities. I view all of our communities as one. Why can I don't fall for the illusion that just because this community means this and has these views and opinions, that there's not something to learn there. They want us to be broken up into groups, different groups, and different subgroups and subcategories and categories and labels. It comes down to labels. Labels is an illusion. Labels are meant to divide, not categorize. Division is the reality. The label is the illusion. For many, the label is the knight in white and shining armor. Red pill, alt-right, left, liberal, conservative. I can go on and on. In any of the aspect of categories within our reality that we call reality of life. The boxes we try to put ourselves in. Instead of being free thinkers, instead of thinking for yourself, questioning everything you hear. You know? And that's where people get tripped up. They don't question. They see this movement, all of a sudden, oh, it's your night light, Shinning Armour. You can find things that you relate to. Well, we understand that. I understand that. Can't speak for you guys. If I want you to buy into my system, my ideology, I'm going to find the things that relate to you, that you're drawn to, and I'll use that to draw you in. Slowly, patiently introducing my system into it, to where you're now caught up into it. Now you don't question it. That's how that works. That's why it's so important to question everything. It's something I've had to learn the hard way, not questioning things. Not questioning things about my life, the way I do things. Why do I do things like this? Why do I keep smoking when I know it's not healthy for me? But yet I also know, because I've quit before, and I know how to quit. I know it's not as much as an addiction as it's more mental for me. But there is addictions out there. Some things that are addictive. Personalities can be addictive. A movement can be addictive. But we don't call them addictive. Just like we don't call our internet, Facebook, Twitter addictions. But yet, for many, it is an addiction. They don't realize it. Nor will they admit to it. They want to be caught in that illusion. That's safer. Becomes their safe reality. Hate to use the term, becomes their safe place. Not a new concept. It's been reintroduced and reintroduced over the centuries. It's an illusion. I'm going to create a safe space. There's no such thing as a true safe space. Just like there's no true being completely, totally prepared for anything and everything. It's impossible. That is improbable. Because everything is unpredictable. Things happen. Doesn't mean don't be prepared for things. Because being prepared is important. Being prepared is also being open-minded, understanding that, I might not be prepared for everything, but I've got, the bare essentials that will help me survive most things. But you're always going to, I didn't think about that. Why didn't I have that? Oh. You see what I'm saying, guys? Understanding that the simple fact is we're lied to every day, probably every second of our lives, everything we take in. Some way there's something that's not always true. Maybe it's not ready. Maybe it's not the time that you're ready to hear those things or understand those things. You haven't lived. You live differently. But there's nothing wrong with that. Because if you start learning to question things, and when I say question things, I've got to reiterate everything. Just like, we see it all the time. A few bad apples, the whole group gets blamed for the bad apples. Maybe we should do a video on the scapegoat. Everybody wants to find an scapegoat to blame. When things go wrong in our lives, we want to find somebody to blame. fact is, more than likely the blame can be put right back on us because of the choices we made. In the end, it's what it's about, choices. What do we learn from our choices? Every choice has a consequence, whether good or bad. Every choice creates new choices, new possibilities and probabilities. Most of us sometimes don't sit there and question all of our choices. Me, I'm more of a spur of the moment type person. Not so much anymore. I used to be. Carpe diem, seize the day. I literally would live by that. I'm not gonna. What time are you gonna be over? I'll be over sometime today. Because why? Things come up. Because when I tell you a specific time, that's like me giving you my word, me promising I'm gonna be there. And I usually feel like crap. I can't make it. Just something came up, something unexpected. And I'm really big on when I give you my word, it's my word. That's what the only thing I have in this life is my word. When I give you that word and I don't come through on that, that tells people, well, he's not that reliable. He can't be trusted. See what I'm saying? But that's an illusion in itself. I have more than my word. I have my actions, how I carry myself, how I act around others, how I make my choices, realizing that my choices just don't affect me, but those around me, even those that I've yet to meet. Yeah, start getting real deep with that. That's the reality of a choice. The illusion of the choice, I can make this choice and change my mind later. Not going to hurt nobody. Not going to affect anything. I can't tell you what's going to happen tomorrow, the next day, the day after. I can perceive what might happen, the way things are going, but that's just me perceiving and theorizing what may happen. There's no real way to say that's going to happen because of choice. People make choices. Just like I refer to the alt-right, the red pill generation. The red pill, not like the apple or the forbidden fruit, the Garden of Eden, not eat from that island. So a way to look at it is what is, how was the red pill portrayed? It's portrayed giving you the knowledge that you're living in a false reality, that you're living in an illusion, a lie. Some people, no, I don't mean that. To each their own. It's another way of viewing it. It's another perspective. It's another way of understanding things, how they use color and stuff to implement something. But I could take it from the esoteric side of things. Red is the left-hand path, blue is the right-hand path. There's an illusion there as well. It's meant to divide. No, that's not for this channel. And, that's something else people don't understand. It just don't happen in your communities. It's every community, every belief system has been divided. Nobody questions that. Nobody questions why there's all these communities, various beliefs. Why are they fractured and divided? Look at Christians. Let's look at Christians. easiest one for you guys to understand. You have Baptist, Southern Baptist, Pentecostal, Methodist, Mennonite, Protestant, Catholic, all you claim to be Christian. Jehovah's Witnesses even claim to be Christians. You see what I'm getting at? You guys are divided amongst yourselves. I grew up in a Southern Baptist church. Born and saved in a Southern Baptist church. Yeah, I know the fire and brimstone preachers. Listen to it half my life. But I also knew that even back then, there was other truths out there. You know? But I did what most people don't. I went and experienced other belief systems, how the other churches were. And I've seen the same thing pretty much going on that I've seen in the Southern Baptist Church and the Baptist Church. But I also seen and felt, they were believing what they truly believed. That spiritualness you can feel around people. It wasn't no different from the Baptist church, to the Pentecostal, to the Methodist. But you guys don't view your communities like that as divided. You guys are. Why? No one stops and questions. No one stops and questions, well, why do we blame the Catholic Church for all these things? Why do we blame the Pentecostals and the Jehovah's Witnesses for these things? Now, let me switch this around. Let me talk about the pagans and the occultists. They're just as divided. Why? Well, because I had to use two different terminologies, two different terms in the community that means two different things to the community. Pagan, occultist, Wiccan, Druid, Satanist, Luciferian, Kabbalist, and the list goes on and on. It's much like the Christian side of things. Different organizations, each of them saying, well, this other group's the bad group. They don't do the things we do, so they're bad. They do more ritual work, so they're bad. It's like, guys, can't you see the common theme here? Why are you guys being divided and pitted against each other? And this is the part I know it just tunes people out. Sometimes it tunes me out. Because, it goes back to a video I did. Truth, you can't handle the truth. And that's definitely not for everybody to go watch. Because, well, it wasn't PC. Well, there was swearing, and I took off with everybody. The fact is, if you claim to be open, these are the very things you question. These are the very things you should be seeing. Why is all these people divided? Why do they want us divided? Nobody questions a movement when it comes up. Why did it start? Because a lot of times these movements that come up and start, they have something valuable to say. They have a message, something powerful. Other people see that. Then they latch on to it because they think they can get in there and manipulate it and change that message. Until, they completely change the narrative and fracture that group, that label. That label now becomes, we'll just use the alt-right, it's the easiest one to pick on. It becomes the light, right, the alt-right. And I don't know what else terminology they're using. Because why do we fracture so much? Why do we divide ourselves? Many of you say, well, that's the way it is. Some of us might say maybe that's the way it's been designed. People do it to divide. Why? Because when you're divided, you're not seeing the whole picture. There's something there that they don't want you to see. And I watch it all the time. I mean, Lauren Southern did a podcast. She ended up titling, I'm not going to say it because I said I wouldn't cuss, but a crap show. Use your imagination, folks. Replace the word that I didn't want to say. And actually, from my perspective, it wasn't. It was an amazing thing to see different sides from the left and different labels come together. Yeah, it was chaotic. It was pure chaos. And it was fun to watch them talk and debate amongst themselves or argue amongst themselves, however you want to look at it. Because they would touch on topics, real subject matter, real problems, and they just compound the problem and miss the underlying problem where probably everyone could agree on. You know? I still get to this day. People ask me, well, why do you listen to such and such person? Some people, I've openly admitted I don't care for it, but yet I still listen to some of the stuff they're saying. Because there's a message there. Because obviously I'm listening to it. I was drawn to it. For some odd reason, I chose to watch that video at that time when there's probably something else better to watch. So we get caught in that syndrome. We get caught in that false reality. So we might miss a message that was meant for us to hear. Obviously, something drew you there. But that's what happens when you're not so open. You claim to be open, but you can't listen to other people's opposing views and stuff. You're not supposed to agree with everything. Hell no. You're not supposed to agree with anything. You're not supposed to agree with everything and anything I say. You're supposed to question everything and anything I say. Yeah, see, I'm not your normal YouTuber. I'm not after tons of followers, tons of subscribers. Well, let's talk about an illusion there. I mean, that's building up the ego, or some people call it. There's actually a technical term for it, which I can't pronounce, so we'll just call it the God complex, because that's what it means. Why are you creating? You take in followers. It's not a God have followers. Oh. Yeah. And it could see there's other teachings and stuff that people don't want to hear. You don't realize the power of drawing people in, having large people. There's some people that will use that and abuse it because they know, oh, I got all these people. I can do this now. I can charge this image that I might want to show. Not even say a mention about a do a word and something catchy. That's why clickbait works so well. That's why fear porn works so well. Most people don't understand how it actually works, though. Most people don't understand when you're doing that, you're actually using a system of magic, a formula. It goes back to what I tell the other community. Time to take back your tools. That's for some odd reason, some people just want to give out to anybody and everybody without an instruction manual, without teaching them the right way to use it, so they learn how dangerous some things are. But then again, there's the other perspective. Well, it's the whole community that's to blame. No. Believe it or not, that whole community there don't even half of them don't even catch what's going on. They realize that it's their very own tools being used against them. There's another illusion. say, we live in a world that we self-create. We create our own illusions sometimes. You know, that's why I guess that video kind of spoke to me a little bit deeper than that. You know, the illusion of, you know, because I was thinking about the polar bear thing. I was thinking about other things. And the reality of some of the things I was thinking about, I haven't done since I was younger. You know, back then I didn't have all those aches and pains I have now from sports injuries. I was more fit because I was playing sports. You know, just like all of martial arts training, yes, it builds discipline. Until you take a long break from it and don't do any of the stuff, you don't realize the damage your body goes through learning that stuff. You don't realize the calcium deposit spurs that build up in your hips from all the stretching and being able to do all those fancy kicks and stuff. Until you stop doing it for a while and you slide back in. It's like, oh wow, that hurts. We take so much for granted. We take so much at face value. You know, hence the image that I've kind of fallen to liking to use here of late. The chessboard. Everybody's concept of good and evil. The reality, if you look at this chessboard, what do you see? I don't see a king, queen, knight, and bishops. Do you? You see pawns. There's the other evolution. Everybody thinks the most powerful pieces on the board are the ones in the back. The rook, the bishop, the knight, the queen. And when in reality, any true chess master knows the most dangerous pieces on the board are the pawns. You awaken the pawns have more control than those that think they are pulling the strings. Because when you come to that reality, you come to that awareness of being actually awake and open, you're no longer the pawn, but why not? I'm going to give you the satisfaction of that illusion of believing that I'm still that pawn. Why? Because there's an advantage there that I can use. You know, just like the advantage of certain things. We've seen all this guns talk all over the years. We've seen them want to go after guns. Oh, suddenly give us open carry to every state. How many people's actually going to research every state and find out which state you can actually go to an open carry or carry and conceal? Actually, I should rephrase that, carry and conceal. Or like, we're going to legalize marijuana here in Ohio. We're going to open up the dispensaries and the places where growers can grow, which now they're getting ready to trying to appeal that because during the checks process, somebody managed to get a permit that was convicted as a drug dealer. Go figure, right? Me, honestly, you know, more than likely, convicted drug dealer. I'd actually would rather him be doing something legal like this, running a dispensary, than out on the street selling who knows what. But no, he's a convicted felon. He sold drugs, so therefore he can't have that. Okay, fine, cool. I get it, but here's what they did. Here's what they put in there. Now, every one of you that is a gun owner here in Ohio, if you go get that medical card, you have just now forfeited your guns. You can no longer go buy guns because you have a medical card for marijuana. The illusion of making something legal, and how many people is actually going to, well, most people I know is going to do the research. But there's people out there who's not going to go any, well, okay, it's legal, cool. And not realize what they're giving up. It's like the consent versus we do not consent. That's an illusion, guys. As soon as you buy that phone, wherever you buy it from, whether it's, no contract plan, as soon as you hit accept, turn that phone on, you've got to hit accept the terms of service of that phone, you just gave away all your consent. As soon as you turn that smart TV on, plug it in, you gave away, as soon as you bought it, you gave away your consent. Okay, let me use another illusion in reality that we face. Vaccines. Since I'm in Ohio, not too far from Toledo, some of the big news in my area has been about all the nurses that are threatening to walk out because they're refusing to take flu shot. It just so happened the other day, just last night, well, not last night, about 3 o'clock in the morning yesterday, caught a YouTube video, or not YouTube, Facebook video, that was this nurse. She was coming home, she was doing did a live stream to Facebook. She was coming home from a meeting at work. She was talking about, this was in Georgia, the same thing about the flu shot. Well, she was breaking it down, the stuff that was in it, why she wouldn't take it. She was talking to her peers. They were having the owners of the hospitals and the ones that make the, laws, bylaws, whatever. And how they, she asked them, don't you guys fear an exodus? And they were like, well, yeah, at first. That was our fear. But now we've got enough people that's agreed to take it that we don't fear it no more. So basically, the nurse, she's refused. She told them, I'm not going to take it. And when that day comes around, she will no longer have a job. Well, here's what they threatened them with. Stripping their pension, not pensions, but all their Medicaid and Medicare, all their health benefits, taking all that away from them. And firing them. But nobody questions the fact. These are nurses, guys. They're refusing to take it. What's that tell you about the vaccine? What should that tell you about the vaccine? Hello, common sense. We don't live in a day and age of common sense. I know. Sorry. I forgot. But this should tell you. They went to school for this crap. They know what they are administering. If they're not going to put it in their bodies, why would we? Because the government tells us to? Because this medical facility tells us to? Well, how long before this hospital tells you can't visit your loved one in the hospital because you don't have a flu shot? Because it's not on record. Because it's not in the system. That's reality. Because that's the next step. Vaccines used to be the knight in white and shining armor. Here, take this flu shot. You won't get the flu. I don't want to get in the vaccine game because I know too many people that's had their children affected by it. And it's getting harder and harder now to say no to it. Or to be a parent and say no. Because you might be a divorced parent and your ex is all for it. And for those that doubt me on this, another case in Michigan, it just happened this year, not too long ago, last month, a couple months ago. The wife refused to have her kids vaccinated. So they took her to court. And she told the judge, I'm not going to allow this to happen. Her husband was for it. And her husband may or may not be for it, but he also realized, well, I can use this now to get the custody of my kids. She lost custody of her kids and had to serve time in jail because she refused to allow her children to be vaccinated. It was against her beliefs, but a court of law said she had to. And by therefore being convicted and charged for endangering your child, her husband was able to gain custody of the children because he wanted them vaccinated. Things like that scare me. Because here's the thing, guys. Once there's a case and a ruling on it, it can be used for future cases. It can be all across the United States. They can go to look up that Michigan law and quote that in a courtroom to weigh favor to the judge and the jury and say, well, this happened in this case. This is why this should happen in this case. It's already happened, so therefore it's already in the law books. That's how dangerous law can be. Law is another illusion. It's a double-edged sword. Because you might as well be a businessman or a salesman or a con man even. If you know the law and you can sell your interpretation of that law to a jury or a judge and convince them of your interpretation, there you go. How you walk away scot-free when you're probably dead as guilty. The law is up to interpretation. It's how you interpret it. Just like everything in life we come across, it is up for interpretation. It's how you perceive it and interpret it. What does it mean to you? Sometimes we don't realize we need to question those very same things. Don't take it as concrete fact just because it makes sense. Okay, why do I feel so drawn to this? Makes sense. Question it. Find out if there's anything underlying beneath it. Because like I stated earlier, the best lie is the one told with a little bit of truth. The little white lie. White knight in shining armor. Oh, how can be used to be so much more than that. Many things in life is much like an onion. An onion has many layers that you could peel away. Why do I say question everything? Because sometimes when you start questioning things, you start realizing that you created a false reality. You created an illusion. You created a safe place to protect you from something that you're not ready, didn't want to hear, or didn't want to realize that, man, I believed this all this time, and that was wrong. It was wrong. It's the hardest lessons we've learned in life. Because those are the ones that hurt the most. I'm not knocking the knight in white shining armor, because I've had several in my life. Your wives, your girlfriends, they can be your knight in white shining armor, your mentors, your teachers. The saying, I did originally start doing stuff, what it means to be a man, and then I kind of got to realize something. Well, a man's only as good as his rock. That woman that he lets into his life. Something to think about. And this is coming from a bachelor most of his life, off and on. There's an illusion in itself. Yeah, bachelor life, guys. You guys out there, as you get older, yeah, you're gonna find that the longings start seeing your friends and family have kids and children raising their families, you'll start longing for those things. Don't get me wrong, bachelor has its advantages when you're young. Don't wait too long, because you're missing out on something very important. And every great king had a great queen beside him. You know, and we've seen how that's been distorted throughout the years as well. You know, like I said, a lot of things. I don't blame the parents. I don't blame anyone. I really blame the teachers and stuff. It's the Common Core that's really got the issues when it comes to when our kids are learning in school. Common Core is the issue, not the parents, not the teachers, much like the nurses. They're being forced to either take the shot or be unemployed. You can't afford to be unemployed in this day and age. See the choices they give us? Not everybody can be that knight in shining armor and stand up for what they believe in, what they know others believe in. Not everybody can hold that weight because they may have families, they have loved ones, so they don't. Will take a stand as far as they can go. And, that was the other illusion, me. So we're getting close to ending this. A little about me. I'm the white knight in shining armor, but I also have views, my own views and ideologies that my real friends know. I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. So I'm able to take stands on stuff, be more risky about things, because I don't have those things that they have. I'd rather take their place. And sometimes that becomes a knight in white and shining armor and an illusion, because the truth is, I have those longings for those things as well. I remember that when I was working in North Carolina. For those that know me, my friends are my family. If I call you a friend, I call you your family. There's nothing I won't do for family. One of my friends came into work. Well, I didn't really know about it at this time. What I did know about it, I just thought it was weird. It was around that time. She usually always comes back, wants to go out and smoke a cigarette. And didn't see her. Didn't see her come back, grab the bar stuff for the bar. And this one guy that worked there, who I tried to take his head off a couple weeks ago prior, me and him got into it at work. Probably a little bit longer than that, but we really weren't at this time too much on speaking terms. We were working, so we wouldn't get fired, either one of us. That was part of the agreement that was made. Had to get along. And he showed me a side that that's why you can't judge people all the time by their, he showed a side in that day I would have never expected from him. He's like, hey, let's go smoke. Let's go out and smoke. I'm like, okay. And as soon as we got out there, he's like, man, don't get mad. He's like, I'm going to tell you something they told me not to tell you. And which I'm glad it was him that did it, because it threw me off. But my friend, her ex beat her real bad. She came into work. So they were pretty much keeping me up, keeping me in the dark until my friend and his wife showed up. Because that's the type of person I am. That's something I don't tolerate. That's something that will set me off. You know, he told me, and it was like, oh, okay. So I went out there and seen how much damage was done. Which, yeah, had me seeing red for a while. You know, my friend showed up, wait, in here, smoke this. He's like, you seem calm. Make sure you're calm. You know? My friend knew. He knew what it was. He knew I'd probably walk right out of there. Go find dude. That's why they were keeping me in the dark. Because why? I don't have those attachments, those things in my life that would stop me from going out and doing something very, very stupid. But yeah, you know, he knew. He was making sure that we'll handle it when you get off. You know, just want to make sure you're calm. I'm not going to turn nobody's subs off. You know, even the manager's like, man, you took that well. I'm shocked. You know, thinking to myself, oh no, you just don't know. And truth be told, lucky for dude, he got arrested before I got off work. But you don't realize, you know, having that mentality. The fact is, I did have people that looked up to me that, you know, needed my help in certain areas. That's why I was in North Carolina to begin with, to help with my friend's property. You know, didn't realize the attachments I made. You know, I was still living that illusion. You know, I can sacrifice more than they can. You know, part of me is still like that. You know, I can take more risks than most. It's just a sobering reality check that if you want those things in life, you can't always take that risk. You know, which brings other things into perspective. It makes you understand when all those nurses that were going to make a mass exodus, why they didn't. So you can't blame them for not doing it because they have families. You can't always judge the book by its cover. You can't always blame everybody for just those select few bad apples. Because then if you are, you're living in another false reality. You're creating another illusion. You're blaming a whole label for just a few bad apples. You know, I don't like talking about sometimes my experiences, but I've lived life. I've lived a full life. You know, I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for several people in my life. You know, people that have the patience enough to, okay, he's thick-headed. It's going to take him a little bit to get it. You know, that's why I never portray myself as that language. So I tell you, more or less do as I say, not as I do, which is this famous practice what I preach. Because with reality, I do things differently. When I choose to take a stand on something, I also know when to back off. I know when to fold them, so to speak, or step back. And you have to know those things. Even though you strongly believe in what you're standing for, sometimes you have to step back. Because stepping back is actually the advantage. I know. Well, it makes sense to many people. They've not experienced that yet. Or they're not ready to accept that part. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're all different. We're all unique. You know, why do I enjoy doing live streams for what I'm doing now? Because I can sit there and interact with you guys. Hear your views and opinions, your experiences. As I share mine, you're sharing yours. We're learning from each other. We're learning to be open-minded to our differences. Sometimes, it goes back to what I said, sometimes less is better. You know, quality over quantity. I don't have many subscribers, but I get to enjoy them more because they can interact where the chat's not speeding a mile a minute so I can't follow it. So there is advantages to it. And I also have the belief that if I have what I'm talking about is meant for somebody, they will find it. I've experienced that in my own life, so I know it happens. So enjoy the things you do. Don't get caught in illusions. Don't get caught if somebody says this is fact. It might be fact to them. It might not be fact to you. You might see it differently, or you've already experienced it. You know through experience that what they're saying is not fact. You know, and don't get caught up that you're going to be a knight in white shining armor. Because sometimes there's another illusion to that. People have to take that mindset that I want to help the person. Sometimes you can only help a person so far. The person is not ready to accept that in their life or change, ready for that change. Some people are like me, bigoted, slow. Sometimes it takes a hard slap of reality for that person to understand what you were saying. Sometimes the best thing you can do is let them go. Which is something that's actually hard for me to do at times. Just let the person go. But I've rambled on for long enough on this video. Yeah, I just want you to think of these guys. Question everything. Question everything about yourself. Why do you feel this way about this subject? Why do you feel this way differently about this subject? Yeah. Start listening to yourself. Why it makes you feel the way you do. Question it. Why does it trigger you? That'll help you to start becoming more open, more aware. That'll start helping you shattering those false realities. Even the ones that you created for yourself. I have the moral of the lesson in this ramble would be just the importance of that, because we do create our own false realities, our own safe spots, safe havens. You know, and we try not to push that bubble to break it. You know, I believe in pushing all boundaries to an extent. I always, learned that through the years too. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I rambled on for almost an hour and a half. Typical, right? Can't do an hour video. But, I enjoy doing this. So feel free. something else I don't mention much in anything I do. Feel free to comment. I'll answer your comments. Yeah, probably should have said that at the beginning of the video, right? But yeah, feel free to comment. I've got time on my hands, or I'll find time to answer your comments. It's like I said, it's even the comments is a tool. We can share our experience, share our ideas and our views and opinions. We can learn from each other. I'll end on learning that the student is just as much as the teacher is the student. Just have fun and make a game out of questioning everything if it helps. But start questioning why you're more drawn to this label, why you feel you fit more in this category. Why do you believe this and others believe the opposite? Nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing, actually. When you start questioning those very things, it frees you from the bondage of false realities. False realities is a form of bondage. They imprison you to that false reality. You get comfortable there and don't question why. And you just accept it. And it affects your choices. It affects the people around you. People that you eventually meet down the road as well. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed. I am going to end this, and hopefully this thing recorded my mic well. Last time I used this program, there was a volume issue, and if there is a volume issue, again, I should have stated at the beginning of the video, just turn the volume up. It looks like it's catching volume pretty good, but I thought that the last time I uploaded the video from here. You guys enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll probably be doing a live stream Saturday or Sunday. But then again, me, might be tomorrow, or today I should say. Enjoy.